Today, I am diving into a real-life example of how I approach my research as a virtual assistant. If you've ever felt overwhelmed by a sheer amount of information on the internet or struggled with where to start, then know that this is going to change the game for you. First and foremost, why is research important? As a virtual assistant, clients are going to rely on you to find relevant, accurate, and well-organized information. Your ability to search efficiently, verify credibility, and present findings in a clear, digestible format will set you apart. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I take a research request and turn it into a well-structured, insightful, and actionable information. So the first step is to define the research objective. Now, the first mistake lots of people make is jumping into the Google or any search engine without any clear objective. And that's literally like walking into the library and then grabbing up some books from the shelf, and then you start hoping that one of them probably has what you need. So before I even touch my keyboard, I ask myself three things, which is, what is the main goal of this research? Secondly, what specific questions needs answers? And lastly, what is the research for and how are they going to use this information? You need to understand these three things first before you start keying in your research on your search engine. And I'm going to give you a real life example on that. Now, let's say that a client asks me to research on the best productivity tools for remote teams. Now, instead of searching best productivity tools, which of course is going to bring out like millions of generic results, I break it down into key questions like, what are the most recommended tools by professionals? What tools are best for communication, task management, and time tracking? Are there case studies or user reviews supporting their effectiveness? And lastly, how do these tools compare in terms of pricing and features? You see, by structuring my research before I even start searching helps me to stay focused and avoid getting lost in unnecessary details. So moving on to the second step, which is finding reliable sources. Just so you know, not everything you see on Google is true. Although the internet may be filled with lots of information, but not everything on the internet is reliable. And it is my job as a VA to find information that are accurate, that is, information backed by facts, research, or expert insights. Secondly, it's also my duty as a VA to find information that are up to date, like there shouldn't be an outdated version from like 2015. Also, we should also find credible information that comes from trusted sources like industry leaders, research papers, or professional reviews. So to do this, I focus on official websites and government sources. For example, Harvard Business Reviews, Forbes, TechCrunch, or probably anything that ends with .com, .org, Another thing I also focus on is industry reports and white papers, such as Google Scholar, Statista, and HubSpot reports. Not only that, I also focus on expert blogs and professional networks, such as your LinkedIn, Quora, and Reddit discussions. Lastly, I focus on case studies and user experiences, like the testimonies that comes from the real world. And the pro tip is, when I see the same facts repeated on multiple credible sources, that's when I know that I found something solid. Just like my research on productivity tools example in step 1, I'll not just rely on some random blog posts titled 10 best productivity tools for remote teams. Instead, I'll check the official tool websites like Asana, Trello, Slack, and then I'll read the case studies on companies that are using these tools successfully. And lastly, I'll look for comparisons from tech experts. And examples are PC Mag and TechRadar. And this whole thing ensures that my research is not just copying and pasting from Google, like it's well sourced, trustworthy, and valuable. And for the third step, follow smart searching techniques. When making your research on the internet, don't just Google harder. Smartness should also be involved, not just hard work. Most people use Google inefficiently. Like almost the whole population on this planet Earth, let's say 99.9% of everybody using internet on this modern age uses Google inefficiently. So for most of you that may come across this video, I'm going to share an insight. Whenever whenever you're making a research, instead of typing in generic searches, make sure to use advanced search techniques. So I can narrow down results and then get exactly what you need. For example, I'm searching for an exact phrase on the internet. So for me to find that, I use the quotation marks. Like I open quotation and then I key in best productivity tools for remote teams, then close quotation. You see, it's going to give me the exact result I wanted, which is just the phrase. A second example is to use the site search to find specific information from a particular website. For example, sites column Forbes.remote work tools.
So looking at the results, you can see that everything it gave me was from Forbes website, from beginning to end. So this is just it.
Another example is to exclude irrelevant results using the minus symbol. For example, I'm searching for productivity tools minus students. Like I use minus to exclude the student focused results.
So with this, you can actually see that from all the results it gave me, it didn't give me any work tools that related to students or any words or phrase or anything that has to do with students. So it just excluded everything.
Alright, to round it up, I'll just give one more example or insights about searching for a specific file type using the file type column. I'll give you an example, like remote work productivity file type column PDF. Like it filters for PDFs, PPTs, or studies. Like any file type you wish to impute at the end of your file type. So you see, following these shortcuts will actually save you hours by filtering out irrelevant pages and then getting straight to the most valuable content. So moving on to our fourth step, which is filtering and organizing informations. Like you shouldn't overload your information, so there are like steps you need to take to exclude, let me just use it in data analysis language, to wrangle out the informations that are not needed, just to get straight to the point. Just like now that I have quality sources from when I used a smart search technique, I just don't dump everything into a document. Instead, I skim and scan before deep reading, I highlight key takeaways, and then I organize my findings into a well-structured format. For example, on my productivity tools research, I may just create a table and key in the informations like this. Here in the table, I have my tools, my best for my key features, and then pricing, of which first to start with Trello, which is best for task management. The key features are Kanban boards, team collaboration, and then the pricing is free and paid plans. And for Slack is best for communication. The key features are channels, integration, live sharing, while the pricing are also free but has premium plans. And for Toggle is best for time tracking, and the key features, it has automatic tracking, reports, and then the pricing is also free with paid options. So as you can see, this whole structure makes my research easy to read, reference, and then presentable to a client. And the pro tip here is that if I'm researching for a presentation or a report for my clients, I summarize my key points into bullet lists or infographics to make the informations visually appealing and digestible. And the next step is adding insights and personal touch. I just don't collect information, but I analyze analyze it. A great researcher don't just gather information, they analyze it and then they add value to it. Just like after collecting my data, I always ask myself, what does these findings mean? How does this impact my client's decision? Also, what action steps can be taken based on these reports? Just like after my productivity tools research, I wouldn't just send a list of tools. Instead, I'll add insights like, if your team struggles with communication, I recommend Slack because it centralizes discussions. And however, if you're managing multiple projects, Trello's visual boards might be more effective. This personalized analysis makes my research more valuable and actionable for my clients. So for my final step, I present my research professionally. How I deliver my research depends on the client's needs. Some clients may prefer summaries while others might prefer a detailed report. The common formats I use includes Google Docs or Word reports because it makes it easy to edit, well structured. Secondly, I also use slide presentations because it's ideal for visual summaries. And lastly, I use spreadsheets for comparisons and data-heavy research. And no matter the format I use, I ensure that my research is clear, like there are no unnecessary jargons. I also ensure that my report is concise. That is, I go straight to the point. And lastly, I make sure it's visually appealing, like it's well structured with headings, bullet points, and then tables. So, for my final thoughts, you all should become a research expert. Just know that research is not just about finding information, it's about making it useful and actionable. And I'm going to list the winning formula for you. First, you define your objective by asking, what are you looking for? Secondly, use credible sources. Don't just trust opinions, but instead check for facts. Thirdly, you should search smartly. You can actually use Google Hacks so that it can save you time. Next, you filter and organize your findings. Don't just overload your information. Don't just make everything jam-packed. You can also add insights and recommendations so that it's going to make your report look valuable. Lastly, you should present it professionally because clarity and a well-structured format actually matters. Like, it really matters. By following this approach, you will master internet research, impress your clients, and then become an invaluable virtual assistant. So guys, you can tell me in the comment section, what is the hardest part of research for you? Also, do make sure to like my videos, engage in the comment sections, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button.